Continuing on with our 7.7 lesson, we're going to go on to simplifying composition of functions. Now again, this is our f of g and our g of f functions. So if our f of x equals 3x squared minus x plus 4, and our g of x equals 2x minus 1, and we want to find f of g, or should I say f of g of x, and we want to find g of f of x. Again, these are going to be two different pieces. Now at the end of all this, we're going to want to plug in x is negative 2, but that'll be a separate problem. First, let's focus just on finding f of g of x and g of f of x. Now when it's f of g of x, that means that we plug in g of x wherever we see, x in f of x. I'll show you what that means, or what that looks like in a second. Similarly here, we plug in f of x wherever we see x in g of x. Now that's going to be, that sounds a little bit confusing, but let's see what it, how it all pans out. So if we want to find, first we'll do f of g of x. Well, that means we're going to be looking at f of x. Now f of x is 3x squared minus x plus 4. But we're plugging in g of x wherever we see x. So instead of this x here and this x here, we're going to plug in our g of x. Okay, so what that actually ends up looking like is we'd say that it equals 3 times the amount 2x minus 1 squared minus 2x minus 1 plus 4. Now we just have to solve these all through. 3 times the amount, 2x minus 1 squared actually comes out to 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 minus, oops, I don't need the parentheses on this one. We'll just distribute that negative. So minus 2x and plus 1 and plus 4. Give us a little more room to work. So distribute the 3 to each. We have 12x squared minus 4x. Oops. Should be minus 12x plus 3 minus 2x plus 5, because I combined those other ones. Now we just continue combining everything to find out that f of g of x is 12x squared minus 14x plus 8. That is our f of g of x. That's how we got it. Now moving on from there, we need to find our g of f of x. So our g of x is 2x minus 1, but again, everywhere that we see this x value, we plug in our f of x. 3x squared minus x plus 4. Now from here, again, we just solve this all out. Oops, I don't want to do 2 yet. I can just distribute that 2. So I would say 6x squared minus 2x plus 8 minus 1. And now just combine those last two pieces. 6x squared minus 2x plus 7 is my g of f of x. So I know my f of g of x, and I know my g of f of x. That's part A. Now for part B, all we have to do is change these to f of g of negative 2. So we just plug negative 2 anywhere we see x. So 12 times negative 2 squared minus 14 times negative 2 plus 8. Now solving that out, negative 2 squared is 4, so we would have equals 12 times 4. Negative 14 times negative 2 is positive 28, and plus 8. 12 times 4 is 48. 28 plus 8 is 36. Let's go back to black here. So in the end, that equals 84. So f of g of negative 2 equals 84. Now working on our g of f of negative 2. G of f of negative 2 means take what we have here, and wherever we see x, just plug in negative 2. Negative 2 there, plus 7. Now we just solve this out. Negative 2 squared is 4, so 6 times 4. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4, and plus the 7. 6 times 4 is 24. 4 plus 7 is 11. 24 plus 11 gives us a 35. So g of f of 2, of negative 2, equals 35. So that's how we solve our composition of functions problems.